Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Now look, Gigi is pissed because she wasn't able to leave with Mario because her mother insists on it. She put her foot down, and Mario understands because he don't want to go to jail because now he's fearful that she might do that. She is serious about her daughter that, you know what I'm saying, that mama better come out. And she's not playing. Because Gigi wants to become a part of this lifestyle that's not good for her at all. And she seemed to have forgotten what happened to her mother, but she didn't put that puzzle together yet. So her mother, in the last-ditch effort that's trying to save her, tells her, look, let's talk. And Gigi's sitting in the room and she's mad. She don't want to listen. She's got her back turned to her mother, and her mother tells her, look, you don't have to look at me. You don't have to listen to anything that I say. And her mother grabs her shirt and she raises up her shirt and she said, look at this. And she shows her the place where she had stitches, just a long scar that's down the side of her body. And she said, this is where I got hit. And this is where the bullet came out. She said, you were a child. You may not remember. And Gigi said, I do remember. She said, I got shot. She said, do you know why I got shot? And Gigi said, no, I don't know why you got shot. Somebody just rolled by and shot you. She said, because this man that you want to follow, Mario, this man that has been like a father to you, he brought danger to our house. He's out there in the streets and he's living a lifestyle that almost got me killed and taken away from you. Do you understand that? Do you not understand what I'm trying to protect you from? And she said, but ain't nothing happened since then. She said, but it shouldn't have happened then. And then Gigi hit her with something that a teenager would hit their mom with. And she said, well, why did you stay with him? And that's when Gail stopped and she looked at her daughter and she took her hands and she put her hands on Gigi's face and she made her look her in her eyes and she said, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I stayed with him, because I loved him. But see, sometimes love ain't enough. I blinded myself to all the dangers that came with being involved with somebody like that, somebody that was not willing to let it go. He made me believe that after all these years, that one day he would stop doing it and we could live as a family. He made me believe that, but it was a lie. And now he's trying to take you away from me. And Gigi's looking at her and Gigi's got tears running down her face because she's still a child. She's 12, about to turn 13. And she said, you're not going to lose me. She said, I already have. She said, when was the last time that we sat down and talked like this? And Gigi looked at her, couldn't say anything. She said, when was the last time you told me how you was doing in school? Gigi looked at her and couldn't say anything. She said, you barely speak to me. You're barely at home. You're always over there. You're not here. She said, I've already lost you. I've already lost you. But she said, I'm still your mother. I'm still your mother. And some things he ain't got no say in. He ain't got no sin. And then, Gail, she used that trump card. She said, because I had you before I had him. I had you. See, I made love to him. I had another man that loved me, that made love to me, and we made you. And then he decided that he didn't want to be in a relationship with a child. He didn't want us, and he left. And I let him go. And then when I met Mario, I didn't want to make the same mistake. So I overlooked a lot of things. So she started giving her the rundown about all the little things that he used to do as far as teaching her the gang signs and her wearing the bandana and all this and that. And Gigi's sitting there and listening. Don't get it twisted. She's still a young child, 12, about to turn 13. So her mind is doing the best she can to process all of this information. It's almost too much for her. But she's listening and she's starting to understand what her mom is talking about. She's starting to understand it. She's starting to understand it. And see, in the middle of the conversation, her mother starts to feel a little pain in her lungs because she's getting a little bit upset. And the injury that she has from the gunshot wound that collapsed her lung, she got to be on medication. Her strength ain't what it used to be. See, when you go through something traumatic like a gunshot, after a while, your body starts to wear out. So she had to take medicine, to help her breathe. You understand? She was on a ventilator sometime during the day, 2 or 3 times during the day. She got to take breathing treatments and all this and that because she would get out of breath. See, all of those types of things happen. So Gigi's looking at her and she understanding what she's saying. So she said, I want you to think about that. She said, because when you're going to be at an age, one day I'm not going to be able to stop you from doing anything that you want to do. But I want you to be the one that decides what you want to do with your life, what's best for you. Go to school, finish school, go to college, start your own business, get a job, whatever the case may be. And then you decide that. Don't let him decide it. But right now, I'd make those decisions for you. That's what she's telling Gigi. And Gigi hugged her and told her that I love you and all this. And she said, I'm leaving. I'm going downstairs. You know what I'm saying? And don't you come out because you won't punish me. And Gigi shook her head like a teenager would, a preteen. And as soon as her mother was downstairs and she thought she was asleep, because she had to take that medication and the breathing treatment, she snuck out the house. And she went to Mario's. And she started asking Mario all these questions about what's going on and why this happened and why that happened. And he put his own flip on it. He told her that, you know what I'm saying, the dudes that was chasing him, he was trying to protect Gail and Gigi from them. And he wanted to get there first because they were headed there to do harm to them. He's lying. He's lying big time. And he said, think about it. They didn't shoot me. They shot her. They were coming to hurt y'all and I was trying to stop it. See, Gigi's mind is not thinking, okay, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you stop them? They were chasing you. You were running away. They were shooting at you. She's not thinking about all that because he's fast talking. And plus, sometimes when you hear somebody lying and you love them, you won't hear the truth. The truth is he was lying to her. She wasn't hearing that. She wanted to hear what she wanted to hear because she still wanted what she wanted. And he knew that. And he told her, he said, look, you need to take some time and think about this. Think about what you want to do. And she said, I still want to be a part of this family. And he said, are you sure? And as sure as a 12-year-old could be, she said yes. So they jumped her in that night. And he swore her to secrecy that she'd never tell her mom. They made sure that she wasn't bruised up to the point to where her mom could tell. They didn't hit her in the face. Only body blows. Only body blows. She went home later that night, sore, got in the tub to soak, just so she could take a deep breath. Got dressed the next day, went to school, and now she's full-fledged part of the business. All the way in. And some of the other kids in the school started to notice that her behavior was a little different. The teachers started to notice her behavior was a little different. And now, all of a sudden, she started to exploit that. Instead of saying, I'll get you, she said, I'll send somebody to get you. So now the students are standoffish, but they laugh at her jokes because they are afraid of her. You feel me? They invite her to sit at the table because they are afraid if she don't sit at the table, she might get an attitude towards them and then something could happen. Teachers start to notice that she's a little bit more emboldened about not wanting to follow orders and not wanting to do her homework and all this and that. And they call and they talk to her mother, but her mother seems to be lost as to what's going on because she doesn't know that she's part of this organization now. She's a gang member. And now things are different for her. Her mind is processing stuff different. Processing everything different. Fast forward. She's 15 years old, y'all. She thinks she knows everything. She thinks she's got the answer to all the problems in the world. Yeah, they've been pushing her through in school. You feel me? They've been pushing her through. She's a junior in high school now. And she has a boyfriend. He's not in a gang, y'all. He don't have nothing to do with that lifestyle. And as far as he knows, she don't neither. He's heard the rumors. He's heard the talk. But he don't see it. She's learned how to manipulate and hide that. When she's not with him, she's at her gang family house, having fun, doing the things that they define as fun. You know, she don't smoke no weed or nothing like that. She don't drink or nothing like that. So, you know, she's just like hanging out with them. She feels most comfortable with them. She feels accepted by them. But she likes this boy. She likes this boy. You know how teenagers do. Young love, you know. Her first kiss, you know? And she wants to spend more time with him and And instead of telling Gail, her mother, about him, she talks to Mario about him. So Mario sends some people to talk to him. And when they go to talk to him, they tell him, better not mistreat her. So now, as opposed to him being in a relationship because he falling in love or feeling some kind of way about Gigi, he's staying in a relationship because he's afraid to not be in a relationship with her. So she starts to notice the difference. And when she asks him about it, he denies anything and everything about somebody coming to talk to him because he's afraid of what could happen. But she's picking up on the signs. And now she's starting to see how this lifestyle can affect any and everybody that it touches. So she goes and she says something to Mario, and she tells Mario, why did you do that? And he said, I was looking out for you. And now that light bulb went off, it started to click. So later on, a month or so later, when things continue to go downhill with her and her little boyfriend, she confides in her mother. And she tells her mother about the guy, the little boy. And her mother's excited for her because she's happy to just be able to have a conversation, a mother-daughter conversation with her about her first encounter with love. And she's telling her mother how special he is and how much she likes him and all this and that. But there's a problem. And her mom said, what's the problem? And she tells her, and her mother gets angry because it's like, now she switches from, why did you keep that from me? And now you're coming to tell me what you see, what it's doing to the people that you care about. And instead of her mama stopping and listening to her, her mama was pushing her further away. And Gigi said, just stop, please stop. I understand what it is you're saying. Because see, love was sprouting up in Gigi for this little boy. You know, that young love, y'all know what I'm talking about. And it was jeopardizing what she wanted. And because it was jeopardizing something that she wanted to confide in her mother. And her mother caught it and stopped it and said, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Tell me what I can do. And Gigi, for the first time, she said, how do I fix it? And see, the worst thing in the world is when a parent can't really do anything to help their child. She didn't know the answer other than to say something to Mario. But she didn't want to do that because she had promised Gigi that she wouldn't say anything to Mario about everything that she had told Gail, her mama. So it's hard to fix something that you can't confront. You understand? You got to confront a problem to fix it. The problem in both of their lives is Mario. He rarely comes by the house now. He still pays all the bills, but he rarely shows up, and that's just fine with Gail. The house is in her name. He's spending all his time all out there in the streets and got babies by other women and all this and that, and she's cool with all of that. In fact, she's slick hoping for the day that he goes to jail and then all of them leave, and then he gotta call her. She's gonna hang the phone up, but that hadn't happened. So she's like, whatever happens out there. She got an insurance policy on him, for that matter. So now she's trying to figure out how she's gonna help her daughter. How does she help her daughter find love? Not to try to say that she's trying to push her after. She don't want her involved in, you understand what I'm saying? But she wants her daughter's heart to be okay. So she tells her daughter, she said, look, you might have to just be honest with him. You might have to be honest with him and see what he says. And then you're going to have to go confront Mario yourself and tell him to stay out of your business. And she told her, she said, look, he's going to listen to you because he's afraid of losing you. And the truth of the matter is, that's true. Because Gigi is validation for Mario. Gigi is validation for Mario. So he don't want her to turn on him like Gail has. So she goes to tell her little boyfriend she's sorry for what happened and all of the things that were said to him. And he told her what they said to him. And it was a frightening thing for a 15-year-old to be confronted by gang members that told him that he better not do nothing to hurt her. Better not do nothing to hurt her. And now he don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? When you young and you falling in love, you fumbling. You doing a lot of stupid things, saying a lot of stupid things. Now he's scared if he says the wrong thing that he's going to get beat up by these grown men. Grown men, you know. So when she confronts Mario about it, she tells him, look, don't say nothing to nobody else on my behalf. I don't want to hear none of that. She said, I'm sick of this. I'm done. And he said, you can't walk away. She said, I'm done. I'm done. Leave me alone. She's letting him know she's in love with this boy. Mario backs up. He makes it seem that way anyway. He backs up. It makes it look like he's listening to her and her concerns. But let me tell you something. You can never underestimate what a person would do when their heart, they believe anyway, is being ripped out of their chest. Keep in mind, let me tell you something. Make sure you understand this. See, Mario has got the mental maturity of a teenager. He's a grown man now. Grown man in his 30s, right? But his mental maturity, his emotional maturity, is that of a teenager. His validation comes from this lifestyle that's leading him down a dark path, alienated the person that he said he loved, and now he's upset that a teenager, somebody that he's helped raise, has said that they are tired of him, don't want him in the business. Now he's feeling the rejection, and he can't deal with it, and he gets angry. And Gigi, being open and honest and frustrated as a teenager would do, mentions that she talked to her mom. Now, Mario's upset with Gail. She's the reason. He can't see that he's the reason. She's the reason for all of the pain that he's feeling. So he plots. And if you want to know how this turns out, you're going to have to tune in to the next episode, because it's going to get better. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.